Hey guys, welcome back to Shep Talk and welcome back to Shep Talk movie reviews. Before we get into the review though, a quick admin note. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button as well as that bell icon so you can get notified whenever I upload a video. Also guys, I am on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Links to those will be down in the description down below. Now, let's get to my review of The High Note. The High Note was directed by Nisha Ganatara, who before this movie seemed to have directed a lot of TV shows, and I probably butchered her last name. The High Note was written by Flora Greason, who before this had written one other thing titled Queen for a Day. The High Note stars Dakota Johnson, probably best known for her role in 50 Shades of Grey movies. Tracee Ellis Ross, probably best known for her role on Blackish. Kelvin Harris Jr., probably is best known for The Photograph and Godfather of Harlem. Zoe Chow probably is best known for Love Life and Living with Yourself. And Ice Cube, who has been in so much stuff, I'd be here all day listing it all. Quick synopsis. Maggie is a personal assistant to a music diva in the hopes that one day she'll be a music producer in her own rights. The High Note was released on video on demand May 29th, 2020. The High Note is one of those movies that got hit because of the COVID-19 pandemic, which sucks because I think more people would have given this movie a shot than have. I will say that when I first saw this movie trailer that it piqued my interest, but for some reason took me a few months before getting to watching it. I sometimes easily get distracted. There have been a few videos on demand coming out every week that sometimes I get a little behind on movies that have already come out. But The High Note follows Maggie, who has been a personal assistant to Grace Davis, played by Tracee Ellis Ross, who has been pretty much milking her popularity and hits for years now without producing anything new. Maggie knows that Grace has more in her and really wants to help her reach her next pinnacle. Maggie wants to be so much more than a personal assistant, and when she runs into David Cliff, she sees her chance to become the music producer that she wants to be. But of course, things can never be that simple in real life and in the movies. With her spending time with David and getting him into the studio, she's burning the candle at both ends, and Grace starts to notice that she isn't fully engaged or focused on her anymore. And she gives Maggie the slight ultimatum of being here with her and not getting dreams of being something bigger. But throughout this, Grace is starting to see that her life still has more to it than what her producer and longtime friend Jack Robinson, played by Ice Cube, wants for her. Jack wants to set her up in Las Vegas with a long-term contract and have her do the same thing night after night, year after year, but for a great sum of money. But Grace isn't sure that this is the path she wants to go down for her future. This movie wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. What we were going to see was Maggie suffering as a personal assistant for years before she makes a play to take over representing Grace, but that isn't what we get, or mostly. Maggie does make a type of play, but it isn't to take over as representation for Grace, but as a producer on her albums. That does spur Maggie to take David under her wings and get him on the path to get his music out there in a manner that most people will enjoy. But like everything in Hollywood, things can't be nice and easy. Maggie gets in over her head and tries to correct the situation, but instead of working out in her favor, it all comes crashing down. And like in true Hollywood fashion, instead of staying around and working through everything, Maggie runs away and licks her wounds. I will say this movie has some heart and even a twist I didn't see coming. I really enjoyed it and wish I'd seen it earlier. The High Note gives us a peek at what it is like to be an assistant to a diva and how sometimes the lines can be blurred from work life and personal life. When you work so closely with someone for so long, you start to think your relationship is more than what it really is, and it can be hard when you get smacked back into place for doing something you thought was right. Dakota Johnson does a wonderful job as Maggie. She gives us an excellent performance, and we are really brought along on her journey as she works to become more than just a personal assistant. Tracee Ellis Ross is just great in her role as Grace Davis, giving off that aura of this bigger-than-life diva who believes everyone is there for her and that what she wants is really all that matters. But she also gives us that peek behind the curtain, showing us that sometimes the mask becomes reality when it's far from what you started out as. The rest of the cast in this movie are just as good and give us great performances all around. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. In a time where we are getting a ton of videos on demand that just suck, it is great to see a movie that has some production value and does some great storytelling. I believe we get some great performances from our actors, and the story is one we have heard before, but it changes enough that it gives us something to look forward to. With all that being said, Shep Talk gives the high note 3 Sheps out of 5. Guys, that is all I have time for today. Thank you for watching, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you did enjoy this video, check out this video over here. I'm sure you'll enjoy that as well. But like I said, guys, that is all I have time for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.